Our next fight of the night is two UFC newcomers. Kay Hansen taking on Jin Yu Frey. And this is an interesting fight because both these women come from Invicta, and I'm a huge fan of Invicta. I like what they do. We wouldn't have a competitive UFC women's division at all whatsoever if there wasn't for Invicta. So I appreciate what they do, and I like the talent that they churn out for us here. Kay Hansen is a very, very young fighter. She's 20 years old. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. She fights on the Phoenix series, which is kind of like, I guess you could compare it to Dana White's Contender Series, where they get young talent and try and build them, that kind of thing. It's almost like an Ultimate Fighter style thing for them there. She did very well on that. She can be flat-footed, heavy on the feet. She does scramble well when she gets into transitions, and she always takes the back extremely quickly. She transitions to a dominant position very, very well, but she's fought a relatively low level of competition so far, obviously, at 20 years old, and she's very, very young. When you see these young competitors, they're green, they make mistakes, and one of my favorite angles in MMA is fading people in that exact position. This is a big step up in competition for her. Jin Yu Frey is the ex-Invicta FC champion. So she's got championship caliber experience. I think 3 of her last 4 fights have been 5 rounds. She's got a really long reach. She's big for the division. She's physically strong. And when I say she's big for the division, these women are both atom weights. So when they get to UFC, they're moving up from 105 to 115. They'll probably be a little bit smaller than what we're used to seeing, but they're both atom weights. So in this case, it's a bit of a level playing field. She's got beautiful takedown entries herself, really heavy top pressure, heavy shoulder pressure. She likes to grind on her opponents. Good head movement. She rips the body with hooks, and she's really strong up against the fence. She likes to press her opponents up against them, really bully them there. And then when she gets the legs, she sucks them out, puts them on their ass. And she's got excellent submission defense. And I think really Kay is kind of in a sub or bust situation here. I don't think that she can beat Jin Yu Frey for a full 15 minutes. And I don't think she's going to be able to get a dominant position on a veteran fighter with the submission defense that I've seen so far. And honestly, I think this line is backwards. Jin Yu Frey opened up as like a plus 160 underdog. And this is where, again, you're going to get full honesty from me. This line opened up at like plus 145, plus 160 in places, and I wanted to jump on it. I absolutely wanted to dive on Jin Yu, but I wasn't able to get it at the place that I used to place my bets. So because of that, it's not an official pick, but I would get it while you can. I think the wrong girl is favored here. Right now, you can get her at plus 120, and I plan on getting on her as soon as that line is available for me. This was just a recent addition today, so if you jumped on her quick and you jumped on her sharp, you're on the right side of this thing. Let's see here. I'm going to get caught up with the chat here just a minute. Pick your boy Griffin. Anyway, Clint, pick the right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think there's just some chat going on here. And when the chat gets rolling, sometimes it's hard for me to discern if people are talking to me or if if people are talking to me or if they're talking to each other. Leo says, great week last week. Thank you, my friend. I did not lay off Marion. I did lose my money on Marion, unfortunately. Thank you for that, though. And I do want to caution everybody with parlays. Vegas was built on parlays. Straight bets is probably the best way to go when it comes to these types of things. And if you want to do a parlay for fun money, throw a little something on there, take a long shot, hope to get paid and retire, go for it. I'm never going to talk you off of that, but just be careful because I know some people mix in 2- and 3-team parlays constantly, and all you're going to do is lose in those situations. It's very, very hard to consistently hit parlays, even if you're doing favorites. I mean, look at me. Last week, I parlayed 2 big favorites that I thought were essentially locks, and we got busted by Jim Miller. So just be careful. Just be careful. Connor McLaughlin, my buddy. What's going on? Welcome to the chat, my friend. Thanks for hanging out. So yeah, I fully intend on betting Jin Yu Frey, especially if I can get underdog odds at her. She's a high-level competitor, and she shouldn't be the dog here. And that's exactly the line that I used when betting Tisha Torres and Austin Hubbard last week. That angle has been cashing left and right, folks. When you get a young fighter who's a hype train, who comes in as a favorite and takes a massive leap up in competition when they're yet to be proven at that level, you fade them. That's just it, especially if you're getting even money or an underdog price. It's cashing, and I'm keeping track of it on my Twitter, the fighters that fit that angle and have been highly successful. So keep an eye out for that one.